We're in the heart of Johannesburg at Joburg Cricket Club's annual Friendship Day at Hope Village. Overcast conditions unlikely to put a damper on the spirit of brotherliness as Joburg Cricket Club and Chats with Old Boys come together for a worthy cause. Stars, past and present, and corporate South Africa coming together to support inner city youth. This will be the first year without a national legend and a legend of the club, George Bezos. His spirit, however, lives on.
I was born a Greek, but I believe that I was embraced by the vast majority of the people of South Africa. If South Africa were to play Greece soccer, who are you going to cheer? I said, well, maybe it would be better for me if it was a draw. To finish with Cyril, he said that he would try and get me an exemption from toy. I have lost these friends, two of them within the last 18 months. They are people who really made tremendous sacrifices, and I miss them.
On my last day, I wanted those who honor me to be able to say, here lies a man who has done his duty to his country and to his people. George Bezos will get that type of response.
We are just simply humbled at the responses we've got from corporate South Africa. The CEOs and captains of industry have shown that they do support our work, and they show that this is their club and this is their ground, and that makes us happy. And it also, it does beautiful things to our passion and the work that we're doing here. On the cricketing front, we've made steady progress. Our first team playing Premier League B cricket in Gauteng cricket, the good news is that it's a homegrown side. Many of the youngsters who are playing in that Premier League side actually came through our junior structures, and that augurs well for the developmental work that happens here. And on the community and social side, which I believe is vital to the sustenance of the club and what is needed in this community. We do a weekly feeding scheme with the youngsters every Saturday, which is an important intervention in an area like this. The homework support program continues unabated, and the passing on of life skills to youngsters through using cricket as a platform is the essence of the work of the club, and we must not neglect that. The cricket takes care of itself, but it's about creating role models in the area, and the Stars have a responsibility to turn up and display their commitment and their participation in projects of this nature, and that togetherness is a vital component in getting our work done. We've also embarked on a new initiative, and that is looking at post-matric youngsters who generally find it very difficult to get into the job market. So we've partnered with a training organization, Ubuntu, whereby we set up learnerships. And through those learnerships, much needed qualifications can come to bear for these youngsters and opportunities. And we're going to put a lot of effort in that initiative going forward. A day where we can give these very busy individuals their best day in their year, because every other day they take care of us. So that's primary for us, to give them a wonderful day out, a memorable experience. Of course, it's a important fundraising initiative for us, which takes care of itself. But today is about these individuals who see themselves as part of the Joburg family, Joburg Cricket Club family, and the least we can do for them is give them a memorable experience. Now, thank you for that, and thanks to the volunteers and the contributors who make days like this possible. It is very important in an area like this that we showcase that excellence is possible, and that's what today is all about. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of things that we care about. I mean, we care about inner city development, and I mean, can there be anything better where you've got people that have volunteered? They haven't been forced to do it. They give it their own time, and they've created something special that a lot of people can share, and a lot of disadvantaged people can be involved and get opportunities. So that is the first thing about this club that I think is very special. And then, of course, for sport in general, sport in general should be something that people give of themselves and create things, create clubs, create opportunities to mix and interact, and of course stay fit. And so it's just a wonderful thing. It's development of the inner city, it's opportunities for disadvantaged people, it's people giving of themselves, and then of course playing sport, mixing, getting to know each other and so on. So it's a wonderful day. Absolutely. I mean, I'm a very, very keen supporter of the club. And admire what they've done tremendously. And I think that that's as far as my involvement going. I'm obviously now past actually playing the game. But it's a wonderful thing to be involved in something like this. And being a supporter, that's what I am.
Well, first and foremost, today is my first time ever on a cricket pitch, and most probably, actually it is the first time ever with a bat in my hand. So yeah, it's a day of many firsts. No, of course, I'm one person that does things for a reason and for a purpose. And, if I can do something to better the life of someone who can't do things for themselves, then you can always count on me. Well, I'm one person that always uses her voice as much as I can, because I do know that a lot of people listen when, personalities speak. And I'm always lending my voice to good causes, and I really hope that there'll be a ripple effect of other people that come on board and, throw in a cent or two, because it will go a long way. Didn't stay on for too long, or as long as I thought I would. I'm one person that has a massive love for sport. I was a jack of all trades but master of none, and I can tell you cricket is not one that I mastered, but I love the game and I love the camaraderie and teamwork as well. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm honored to be here today.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor for me to first of all be singing the national anthem, but also here, with all these great people. So thank you for having me. I think it's very important for people to come together to try and help the youth, especially because we are the future. The youth is the future, and I think if we could all have more of that responsibility, that really living life is about how can we help other people. So I think it's a great initiative, and I'm so honored again to be a part of it. I've been working on music this whole year. Especially with COVID, it's given me a lot of time to write. So I've been writing a lot, and look forward to hearing some stuff from me in 2021. It's going to be a good year. It's a bit hard to define exactly, what I am, but I'd say my music is more of definitely in the pop. It's quite, I think, a sound that a lot of people can relate to, so not only South Africans, but the world as a whole. So I'm very excited to see how people react to it and respond to it.
Thanks, Hugo. Yeah, I can't even remember how long. It's such a long time. When you drive past here, in the beginning you drove past here, you didn't know there was a cricket field. And once I got to know Indiran and his team here at JCC, just being asked to play was absolute privilege, and to see what they've done is just phenomenal. I think you can always do more. I don't think there's enough that is being done. It's hard, time-wise, and managing all of that. But I think we can all do more because the game's done so much for us, and it's about the next generation and what can we do to put the game in a good place for the next generation. I remember many years, how he would sit here and watch the game. He loved the game, phenomenal individual, and one who led by example, and one I think we could all learn and did learn a lot from. Yeah, again, I think we can, definitely, they've got behind this initiative, which is very important, because without funds, you can't do this. You can't keep a facility going. So, if the opportunity comes up for corporates, to keep the game strong and keep the game alive, it is very, very important. And we thank those corporates who have been involved and continue to be involved.
Yeah, so this is my first year getting invited, being here. Obviously, we've lost an icon, and I certainly honoured him while he was still living, and certainly will do now that he's passed. And yeah, this is just a small way of continuing to do that. And then on a lighter note, being able to play a bit of cricket, which is a game that I've missed. I haven't played since probably 94, 95. Wow. So it's going to be interesting. Oh, to honour the great man. I've always followed his career and what he's done for the country at a distance, obviously. I've always taken or followed our icons, especially from the early years. There's a vast amount of history that people of my generation completely missed. So of late, I've taken great interest in that, in our past, and becoming more knowledgeable about it, and he's certainly a figure that stood out. No, well, it's the funds. It's not the actual event that will have an impact, but it's the funds raised that will go to a very worthy cause. I believe in institutions that are based in community should be first and foremost looking after their community, which is what the Johannesburg Cricket Club has been doing. Yeah, I played a bit of rugby and cricket at school, and two sports that I really missed, and I've watched a lot of it on TV, and this is the first time in ages that I've been able to get back on the cricket field.
Look, I guess, in the spirit of the game, I was always taught to always be competitive either way, right? So it's a lot of fun out there, but you're told to hit the rubbish, so that's unfortunately all I could do. Look, I grew up with a mother who really enjoyed the inner city, so much so that, it formed a formidable part of her life and how she grew up as well, and the stories you get told, and to then see it different, not being the same way as it was in the past, kind of hurts. And the hope to be able to give hope, to give some sort of understanding to where things could be, where things were, so important, so critical, and really helpful, I think, to be able to do something like that right now. Yeah. Look, there could always be more, more done on anything for that matter, right? Including, helping the inner city youth. I don't think there'll ever be enough help. You know, once we get it up and running, which I certainly hope will still be the case, the one thing you want to always do is continue that effort. And you know, you reach for other goals and new ideals. So there's always more to be done. There's always more that can be given. And I think sometimes we forget and think that we need to do a lot. Sometimes you don't really have to do too much. You know, you just have to keep it basic, keep it simple, and sometimes just do what you can do. And that offers a lot.
Yeah, a number of years ago I was working on 702 radio, and I got a call from a very passionate man called Indiran Govender, and he explained about this inner city cricket club, and he said they needed a bit of help, and in the job I was in, part of the job you get calls all the time, so I always used to give them a little test and say, here's my email, come back to me, you know, I'm a little bit busy. And if they came back, I would know that they were quite serious. And he came back to me repeatedly, got me down to this incredible little oasis in the inner city and explained about this amazing club. And we got him on the radio. We raised 750,000 rand in, I think, half an hour, and allowed the club, the kids, to go and play in a tournament in Greece for 2 years, which they won the second year. And since then, I've been involved with this club, not as much as I'd like to be, but I help them out whenever I can. And it's a lesson for the country and a lesson for the world. What can be done if people work together, good people work together. A centre of excellence that shows just what can be done when people work together. So it's very important to be involved, and long may it continue.
I think that's taking it a bit lightly. Look, not at all, but I think the big thing is the innings that we're all having here, and that's the innings of keeping this place alive. So it's definitely the day I was looking for, but you know, I'll get the chairman back with a few fast balls, maybe a couple that will whiz past his head, we'll see. Well, mainly, look, I'm new to the club. Mainly I work with the social media and the media. So a lot of the people that you see from the various broadcasters, Newsroom Africa, SuperSport, they're here as a result of my organizing. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm looking to actually become a very big part of the club, especially with what happens over the weekends with the feeding schemes and all of that. So it's a great club to be involved in. It's a club that stands for a good cause, and it's a club that I'm super proud to be a part of. Look, we're looking to raise some money to continue to support the kids of the inner city of Johannesburg, and as much as, you know, if we can do that as much as possible, and if we can get the right amount of exposure for the club as well, to get people to come and also support and understand what this club means and what it stands for. I think that's the real aim today. So we want this club to live on. You know, the memory of George Bezos lives deeply entrenched in this club, and it's because of that we continue to do what we do every day.
Thanks, Hugo, and also coming from Bertram's pedigree. I was told on very good authority that my family actually originates from this area, so it's quite a special day, and it's just amazing to see what can happen in the inner city, in a place like this, and to be involved with people who love the game. Nothing could be better. I think that you can't do it without good people with lots of energy, and I think that the risk of it is that there could only be one or two people that are really helping out with that kind of drive. It needs to be part of a process that when those people step down, it can be continued. And otherwise, places like this can sometimes just fall down because you don't have those champions like Indiran and his committee. Those are the risks I see. So you need to almost put a structure together that this can continue and grow for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Without that, there's always a risk that the good work that's done through these kind of days will go down, but hopefully something like that can be put in place. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some wonderful people here that are contributing. Paul Harris has been an amazing person in this event for as long as I've been involved here, which is 5 or 6 years. And we love it. I mean, we just love being with everyone. This is the real South African experience. This is what's going to drive our country forward. It's these kind of initiatives, it's these kind of facilities that's really crucial towards building community. Clubs are supposed to be community-based places. There's no more diverse community than we're sitting here in Bertram's in Hope Village. And if we can get this right, I think there's lots of energy that can be built in other communities to do the same. I think so. I'm trying to slide down the order. Got a wonderful captain, Amanda. She's coming in 6th. I've got full trust in her. And Udo Karelse looks like he's should be playing for the Proteas at the moment. He's playing so well. You know, people I've never played with before and just heard about, and that's the privilege of playing in a day like this. Just meeting amazing people.
event.
Yeah, I was here for the very first one by invite with John Robbie a couple of years ago. And what was nice is a lot of the youngsters who were still playing in the nets are now part of the team, standing at the back part of the organization. So it's just fantastic to see how you plant the seeds, and every year you do the same thing consistently, it's going to reap fantastic rewards. So always good to be part of the day.
Well, I've had the honor to be invited to this event just to celebrate the great George Bezos, but also just to share in his values of really trying to get the youth involved in education and sports. So it's been a great day out so far. I think in the biggest character of George Bezos as well, he's taught us to be selfless. And I think as an athlete or a former athlete as well, we always try to inspire the youth to follow our footsteps, but also we need to navigate it properly. And in so doing, we have to make sure that we involve ourselves in sports. And as much as it's a cliche, sports really does take kids off the streets. I mean, for me, it did the same, and eventually turned out to be a profession. So for me, it's just to be here to share my story, and hopefully that it inspires the next athlete. Maybe not in cricket, but maybe in football or maybe not in football, but in cricket. So we all share in the same sentiments of really trying to get the youth involved. It's important, and I actually welcome the idea of having ladies also part of the game, because I mean, if we're talking about being inclusive, we have to involve the ladies as well. And I mean, the women's cricket is also picking up, it's gaining momentum. So I think in the true spirit of really trying to get everyone involved, we need to lead by example. And therefore we also availing ourselves, making time to come out here to show that ladies do participate in cricket as well.
Actually, it's a good atmosphere, it's a good environment. We enjoy it here. And as per invite, we really happy to be here and then representing Swaneville, in as much as we have developed an area, a cricket club in an area called Swaneville. It's a mostly a developing area. We were young boys when we started the club. So our first game was with JCC. That's where we got to meet with Mr. Govender, and he appreciated us as young boys growing up, coming up, doing a great job for our young, brothers and sisters out there, you understand? So yeah, we're very much grateful to be here. Indeed. Look, we're from areas where cricket is not a kind of a sport that people look into, you understand? Most of the sport that people play in our areas, it's either netball and soccer. That's mainly a sport that people are playing. But we brought this particular initiative to say that let's bring something new, and since we have got a ground, let's utilize it for the betterment of our young brothers and sisters. So that's basically what we did, and we gave it our good shot to ensure that we are at the level where we are as successful now.
After a very successful day at Hope Village, Chats with All Boys came out tops with a slender 5-run victory over Joburg Cricket Club. The match was played in the true spirit of George Bezos. There were some standout performances by Matthew Booth, Arabella Gumede, Amanda Dlamini and Ibrahim Lambert. As the cliche goes, cricket was the winner of the day. So from all those involved in making this day possible and the huge success it was, it's goodbye from Hope Village for now.